Hi, welcome to back to CSC Studios here in lovely Natick. We're back with another comedy show. I am very nervous today, and my agent called me and he said, just do your thing that you do with the Leon Redbone. I have to channel my inner Leon Redbone, and I want to just give a small song about a cat that saved my life in 1994. And Leon never got this song, unfortunately, but I sing it to myself whenever I'm scared. J Boo Boo's number one, J Boo Boo's number two, J Boo Boo's number one, J Boo Boo's I love you. And if you knew her, you might even have to poo her, because she's a boo. And she's my moo. She's my J Boo Boo. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please tip your waiters and waitresses. And thank you to the late Leon Redbone for allowing me to use his name posthumously. Like I said, I was very nervous. I did something today that people have been telling me for years. Go to the gym in the morning. Go to the gym in the morning. That's not the way I roll, but today I did. I went there at 6 in the morning, and there were just old people there. It was incredible how old they were. There was one woman to my left that had just old, crepey skin that was just hanging down. It's just nothing that was attractive in the least way. She's nice, though. I've talked to before. And then all the men in between machines, they're all bent over. And, I'm just not old. It's like, I realize I'm 57, but when I walked out of there this morning, I strutted. I ain't no old man. And feeling the strut, I didn't feel 57 years old. There are a couple times, though, that I feel like an old man. In the morning, and it happens pretty regularly, believe it or not, I pee on my left foot. I walk into the bathroom, and I start a normal pee, and then for whatever reason, it just goes like that, right onto my left foot. And I have no idea why it happens. I don't really want to tell my urologist about it, because then he may have to enlarge my meatus, which actually happened to a high school friend of mine. He swore me to secrecy. He said, never tell anyone that I had an operation on my meatus. And so that's one time I feel old. And the second time is I have a platonic friend, Julia. We watch TV together. And we'll be watching TV, and she'll just be like, stop, don't move. And so I just, stop, I don't move. She comes back. She puts something, I feel something on my ear, and she yanks it. And she is there. I said, what'd you do? She says, I pulled the hair out of your ear. I don't know why ear hair happens. If you're 25 or even 30 years old, ask your girlfriend or boyfriend or parent to look in your ears. I guarantee you don't have hair in your ears. I think it happens around 40, where just like a cicada bug, it just starts growing. And so having ear hair, that does indeed make me feel old. But the name of this show, by the way, is Todd Sharrock, Laundromat Comedian. And the reason I'm a Laundromat Comedian is because that's where my career began. I was doing laundry with my soon-to-be ex-wife, and there was a Newton Continuing Education that says, so you want to be a stand-up comic. So I went and I took the class. It was a journeyman comic who taught it. His name was Rich Gustus. And, when you start out as a comedian, you have a blank slate. I've never stolen a joke. No one's ever stolen a joke from me because of my material. And, I was in a 12-step program. And so what I did in the morning is I'd ask God for inspiration. It's like, oh, my God, is it going to be a Christian comic? No, I'm not a Christian comic. And so how do you get inspired? Well, believe it or not, just by watching television. I was watching this special. It must have been PBS or Nova. And it was about schools in Asia. And I think it was in China. And I'm watching it, and I don't know. It just made me think, how do Chinese schoolgirls tell each other, and how do they describe their boyfriends to each other? And that was one of the first jokes I had. Ming Li, we hear you have a new boyfriend. Please, describe him, please. Well, he's short, lean, straight black hair, dark eyes, and glasses. And you ever wonder if, her girlfriend just, throw a fucking shit fit and say, Ming Li, you just described every Chinese boy. And so that was my first joke, and needless to say, it's been called racist on more than one occasion. But I just wanted to let you know that that's how the joke came about. It was from watching TV. I didn't say to myself that I want to make a racist Chinese joke. I was just watching a film on Chinese school children. And I also get inspired by real life events. And this actually happened to me. And the night it happened, I remember it was a meeting in Newton Corner, and I said it from the podium, and a kid came up to me, his name was Gabe, and he just walked right up to me and says, "That's racist." I'm like, how the hell is this racist? So this is what happened to me in Newtonville. I went to the Village Bank to take money out of the ATM, and I see a young couple, and as they get closer to me, they're speaking either Mandarin or Cantonese, whatever Chinese language it is, because I understand there's two, not just one. And so they had a little dog with them, and the dog came up to me, and I swear to God on my life, the dog looked up to me and said, "Please help me. I don't understand what they're saying." And it bothered me. It rocked me for quite some time. And, I realized what probably had happened. It took me years to really understand the experience that I had. Probably it was a dog that had been in an American home. Maybe it's an old grandmother who died, and they say, "Oh, we have to give Skippy away." So Skippy went to, I don't know, wherever they go, animal control or whatever. And, this nice couple came and they adopted the dog, and it was probably, for their father or something. And I'm sure that the father just couldn't stand the dog because, the dog is used to sit, stay, those words, and he's just not understanding when the father is just saying, "Don't chow, don't chow." And, the poor dog was probably peeing his pants because the dog owner was probably yelling at the kid saying, "Jesus Christ, you got me a retarded dog. He doesn't listen to anything." And the dog just didn't speak Mandarin. So if that's racist, so be it. Here's something you've never ever heard before, okay? "Wait, honey, don't change the channel. That movie has Stellan Skarsgård in it." That's never been said once ever in the history of the earth. My friends, I do have friends, believe it or not, they're beginning to annoy me. And the topic that they're talking about getting old, it's showering. I get up in the morning, and I don't care if I'm dead. I wake up, first thing I do is I shower. Well, not the first thing, I look at Facebook first. But I shower, and, I get dressed, whether it's a weekend or a work day. And so I told someone a few years back how much it annoyed me. And she came up to me at a meeting, and she said, "Hey, Todd, guess what? I showered." And I don't know if she was looking for a merit badge or whatever, but I don't get it. And then I had a sponsee who was in his 40s, very professional, and he told me, he says, "I've decided to shower at night now." And I just don't understand it. Maybe if you're a girl, because I don't think girls sweat as much as we do. I guess unless you're large, because they used to call them sweaties when I was in high school. But yeah, he said, "I'm now showering at night." Now, I don't know about you, I'm a guy, and even before I was in my 50s, you wake up and you sweat. For me, I'm always being chased. I have an anxiety, a dream, like the one where you realize, there's only a week left in college, and then you look at your schedule and there's a course you've never been to. So I always wake up just absolutely drenched in sweat. So the fact that he was going to shower at night, that just really bothered me. So I guess what I want to say is that if I ever so this is an oath, if I ever decide not to shower in the morning, I want you to shoot me, okay? I really, really do, because I really believe you should shower in the morning. I have some facts about myself. 4 or 5 of them. And I call them odd Todd facts. The first one is and I'm very proud of this, I haven't been stung by a bee in 40 years. And that's the God's honest truth. I don't understand why, but I haven't been stung by a bee in 40 years. There's a strategy to it. If there's a bee anywhere near around me, I just flee and I scream like a big pussy. And it's not good when it happens when I'm on a date. Let's just put it that way. But I haven't been stung in 40 years. The second thing about me is I'm an incredible launderer. And I was thinking about it today. I said, do I leave that? You know, because I used to put it in my Match.com review, and I didn't usually get a lot of responses for the laundering part. But I think what it comes from is that when I was in college, and it's the first time you're off by yourself, I ruined a Dartmouth High School soccer hoodie because I put bleach in it. I just didn't know. I thought bleach went in everything. And I guess that is not true because I ruined the note to Dartmouth High School. If I ever make it big, can you please send me a Dartmouth High School soccer jersey? I'd really appreciate it. I don't know if they're the Dartmouth High Indians anymore because of PC stuff, but I loved that. I was so bummed I messed it. And I could only blame myself. I couldn't yell at my mother. As I said, I did. I went to UMass Amherst. Actually, I haven't said that. And I got a marketing degree. And like I said, I used to say back then, my marketing degree and 50 cents can buy me a Herald. So consequently, you know, I really like commercials, I really like ads, and I like finding things that really annoy me. And I couldn't believe when I came up here that there's actually a restaurant called Fishbones. I don't know about you. If I get a piece of fish and there's a goddamn bone in it, I leave and I never fucking come back. So to name your franchise Fishbones, I don't get. That's the first observation. The second one was Sleepy's. Now, Sleepy's had the best trademark song ever. You know, it was Trust Sleepy's for the rest of your life. You know, double entendre that's just like unfucking believably good. And what did they do? They got out of business and they turned into Mattress Firm. And again, Mattress Firm, what are you thinking? You know, not everyone is bright. I, for myself, when I see Mattress Firm, it's like, well, I'm not going to go there. I like soft mattresses. But Mattress Firm, of course, kept their name as Mattress Firm, and I understand they did file for bankruptcy, and, you know, good for them. Did I ever use my marketing degree? Once when I was right out of college. I got a job with the New England Oil Heat Council. And at that time, gas was so low, and the oil heat, it was so much higher. And so I came up with a campaign, and it was, you know, the tagline was, you know, oil heat. It may be a little more costly, but at least your house won't blow up. And then I had this stock footage of a dash cam video of a house blowing up into splinters, but they didn't like it, and they fired me. I really actually wish I'd gotten a degree in economics. And why is that? I just think it would be so cool, because if you have, you know, Todd Sharrock, you know, not masters, but Bachelor of Business Administration, economics, I would just call every local television station, newspaper, magazine. I'd offer them my thoughts on the economy, and I'd insist that they quote me as economist Todd Sharrock, because I think that's all you need to be called an economist, right? A degree in economics. But I didn't get a degree in economics because I drank myself pretty much out of UMass Amherst, which is why I ended up with a marketing degree. You ask anyone there were 4 business majors that you could take, and I took marketing, which was the easiest. 2 more fast facts, and then we're on to the show. I have ulcerative colitis. I was diagnosed at age 37 in the year 2000. I just had diarrhea for 3 weeks, and it was just like, and this doctor said, you know, just for shits and giggles, let's give you a colonoscopy. And I remember what he said to me, and this is God's honest truth. He says, it looks like someone took sandpaper to the inside of your colon. And so, you know, it was devastating news to me. I didn't have to wear a bag, and, you know, I only shit myself twice in 20 years since I've had it. We can talk about that another time, I think. But originally I was very active in the cause. And, you know, when I started doing comedy in 2005, they asked me if I wanted to come on board, and I said absolutely anything for ulcerative colitis. And so I proposed a 20-mile walk for Crohn's and colitis, because we didn't want to do it just colitis. Crohn's, I guess, is worse. I guess you go to the bathroom and have a lot more accidents than just colitis. So I actually am happy I don't have Crohn's, because as I said, I've shat myself twice in 2 years. Although the first time it was food poisoning. The second time, I think I just got a little risky. I had taken a walk, gone too far, I passed the Dunkin' and said, oh, I don't need the bathroom now. And, you know, I did need the bathroom now. But, so anyways, I proposed a 20-mile walk for Crohn's and colitis, and they rejected it. And I said, why? He said, for Crohn's and colitis, we need 47,000 porta potties. And so my dream was dashed. I got out of it, and so I no longer help. Let's see. The last thing, the most important thing you should know about me is I'm delusional. I have no idea how I look. I really don't. When I see this and I see myself talking here, it's not how I picture myself. I've always dated way above my station. Age has never mattered to me. When I was 46 years old, I dated a 23-year-old Korean grad student from Berklee School of Music. God's honest truth, my first wife was 16 years younger than me. And, you know, I just, it doesn't mean, I guess what I'm saying is that I just don't have any filter, and I just don't have anything rational in me. So if I see someone, no matter what age, you know, I was just telling the boys who are doing this shoot before, you know, what one of my lines is, and I'm actually not going to share it with you. But the one I do like that I can share with you is, in my next life, can I ask you to the prom? And believe it or not, that works more than you would think. It works more than you would think. So along the line about me being delusional and not realizing what I look like, you know, by the way, I've gained 15 pounds since the last shoot. So if you look at this one compared to the April one, hopefully it'll be on the same YouTube page. You're going to be like, wow, his face got a little fatter. I wonder if he, you know, has lupus. It's like, no, it's just I put on 15 pounds since the beginning of the pandemic. So I love Whole Foods, and I don't go there for the food. I'm just going to be honest with you. You know, the women at Whole Foods are way better looking than, say, Shaw's and Stop and Shop women. But, you know, they're on to me there. They're on to me. Because, first of all, I don't look like a typical Whole Food shopper. And I usually just come in and out. I buy the pineapple chunks, sometimes with the watermelon on it. You know, a lot of times just the pineapple chunks. But I find that they really obviously don't have a Hawaiian on staff, because most of the time, you know, the Hawaiian chunks just are too chewy, and I don't have a lot of teeth. I've lost some teeth in my adult life. I'm not one for root canal, so if given a choice between a root canal and a yankage, I usually say, could you just yank it, please? And they get very upset, but, you know, they have to yank it if I say yank it. So, anyways, so yes, the pineapples at Whole Foods. Again, it's not really the quality of the fruit, it's the experience. Because I really do. I occasionally glance at leggings and spandex, and which liberals, I guess, apparently don't do. They make me feel like I'm a Republican in a Whole Foods, and I might even be a Republican, but I was told never to mention anything political during a comedy show, so I'd like to just say I'm straight down the middle. But they're on to me, and so I'm, you know, I can see them on the headsets. It's kind of like, I don't know, the old... I don't know, what the hell is the Gap, where they all wear headsets. And I know they're looking at me, and I'm not being paranoid, but I'm ready for them. And because I'm in Newton, I figure that they're going to come up to me and they're going to ask, so, sir, what's your stance on ranked choice voting? And I'm ready for them, because, you know, they expect me to say, they think I'm a Republican. They're going to say, that's a bunch of horse shit. You're just creating more work. You know, there's no such thing as second place. But I don't say that. I know I'm in Newton, so I say, are you kidding me? If we had ranked choice voting this year, we'd be sending Jesse Mermel to Congress instead of that dino, that's a Democrat in name only, Jake Auchincloss. So I think I'm ready for him. So that's my Whole Foods. And so we talked a little about the ulcerative colitis. Sorry that I hadn't planned on mentioning that I had 2 accidents in 20 years. And again, I don't wear a bag, so ladies, I just don't want to gross you out. I was just being honest. That's just to show you how bad ulcerative colitis is. So I want to go back to my drinking days. I mentioned I was an alcoholic. Between 1979 and 1989, I drank my face off. And it's probably why the doctor said to me in the year 2000, it looks like you've had sandpaper taken to the inside of your colon. So what my life was like during that time, I remember I was working for Keystone Mutual Funds. So I'd go into work that day and I would always have a huge jar of Pepto-Bismol in my desk. And I would literally drink like half of it. And if you've never taken Pepto-Bismol before, maybe they've changed this because this was a long time ago. The first time I went to the bathroom after drinking half a bottle of Pepto-Bismol, I nearly shat and fell back in it because it says it makes your stools black. And I wasn't expecting that. It scared the shit out of me. I thought I was dying. And then I read the thing. It said, will make your stools black. So what it was, a lot of the times, it became the unmovable object, okay, which was the Pepto in me, versus the irresistible force, which of course was, the runs. And if you drink, boy, you get the runs. And sometimes it was kind of dicey. And this story, and again, it's true. If you could ever locate the roommate who I'm going to mention, he will tell you, yes, this did happen. So I hadn't drank that day. I remember it was light out. I had gotten off the beeline, and then I began walking to 118 Glenville Avenue, apartment 16, and then all of a sudden my stomach just gurgled, and I was like, uh-oh. Like a little bubble is not bad, but when you hear a gurgle, you know it's bad. And I was in trouble. I immediately broke into a sweat, and it's quite a jaunt from where I get off the B train to my apartment. And so as I was walking, I was just really, really panicking. I was just trying not to outwardly look like I was in trouble. And so I ran, I didn't want to run because then my legs would come apart and that would be an accident. And that wasn't one of the two accidents, by the way. So what I did is I finally made it to my apartment door. And it's funny, as I was going up, I think I was in the third or fourth floor. My memory's not all that great. And with every time I went up each stair, you could hear the... And it's, looking back now, I think it's kind of funny. No one looked out and, looked at me and said, what is the gringo doing? So I made it all the way up to the third or fourth floor. I put my key in the door and I fucking heard the shower. And my roommate, his name was Brian Carter, he was in there. And he had just moved in. I didn't know him good enough to just say, get the fuck out of the shower, I gotta take a shit. So I was dead. I was a dead duck, so I didn't know what to do. So I ran into the kitchen. I got myself a bodega bag, because there's a lot of bodegas in Austin. I ran into my bedroom, slammed the door shut, was able to get my pants down, and in one big gaseous explosion, I just pooed into this bodega bag. And the funny thing too is, as I did it, one little stream of urine went, and then went on the floor. And so now there I am, having just peed on the floor involuntarily. Must have something to do with the prostate. And now I'm carrying a bag of shit in my own apartment, in my own bedroom. So what the hell am I going to do now? He's in the bathroom. So luckily I had a veranda, which I never went out on because I was scared to death of heights. So it must have been the third or fourth floor then, because I never went out there, and I always thought I would fall to my death. So basically what I had to do is I had to leave a bag of shit out on the front porch, on my veranda, until Brian left. And then I was finally able to get rid of the bag of shit. And so that is my shitting in the bag story. It's only been told once. That was on my final show in 2007. And a lot of you know I took 12 years off in between shows. I had stage fright. Obviously, I don't have stage fright anymore, as I'm talking to you about messing and soiling myself today. So again, I'd like to thank CSC Studios for hosting. I'd like to thank Brian Douglas Media of Ashland, and again, the house band, the Migrant Pickers, Gary Adler and Hippie Muck. Thank you so much for being here as the house band. And that's it. Have a good night. Take care.